Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it all comes down to, Jason. It's going to be game number 3, a.k.a. the final showdown. This is the Highlander match. There can only be one. And will it be SK or COG EU? That's the question.
I'm waiting for more analogies to come out.
It's going to be tea.
What?
Not coffee.
I asked that like an hour ago, and now you found the answer?
Yeah, it's tea.
Okay, well, at least you did keep the question in mind. You thought about it.
I've been considering it heavily, and I had a lot of time to think about it in that last match. We saw that match go almost an hour, and SK comes out on top. It went back and forth about 2 or 3 times, actually. SK seemed so dominant through most of that game, and then COG comes storming back only to throw the ball back to SK's court, and they were able to finally capitalize.
I like to say they tripped.
They tripped. Yes.
They're like, oh, crap, and faceplant in the ground.
They tripped on a Gold Fury.
But we do have to say this, though. We appreciate everyone that's been sticking around through us throughout all of today. We've been going since 10 a.m., and we finally have signs of stopping coming up with this last game of the day.
I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
And for those of you that are just joining us, if you are a lazy person in the United States, as it is, about 2:30 there, we will be rebroadcasting this tournament probably directly after it finishes, maybe around 3:30 or 4 Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to catch the earlier games, we will have those available, and of course they'll all be available via VOD as well. But for the Smite Game channel, we'll see those. And we are moving into the final game. Ladies and gentlemen, picks and bans starting to come out, and I am ready as I will ever be to see this dang thing underway.
I have to do this for everyone, and I apologize if anyone gets offended, but...
Oh, yeah.
That's a Red Bull right there.
Red Bull.
That is a Red Bull.
Absolutely.
Also, a little gem from chat for you. Apparently, when you turn to the side, you look like Rob Patterson.
Ooh, am I
Are you sparkly? Yeah, are you sparkly in the sunlight?
I said it first.
Jinx. You owe me a cookie. Oh, God, how old are we?
I think I'm, what did you say I was, 47?
Yeah. Well, you're not graying yet.
No, but my hair is running away from my beautiful face. It's just too good looking.
That is a good way to look at it.
Yeah,
see, what's funny is, actually, I'll save the story for later, because you do have the bands already coming in.
We do indeed. It's going to be Naja, Tyr, Athena, and Chunga. So no more Athena to deal with, but that does leave, of course, the Thor on the map, as well as the Zeus, as well as, well, pretty much every other god besides the 4 you see there. So we'll see what the first pick is going to be. What do you value most of all? And maybe they should pick the Anubis and make sure they're on his team. No, maybe an Agni pick, but yeah, the Thor pick is quite likely as well. And surprised a little bit not to see the first pick Bacchus, so I expect to see Bacchus Apollo picked up here from SK, unless they got something tricky up their sleeves. I'm thinking Sai will probably not running Kali this game.
I will say this, though, is that I don't, you might be able to correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think both of these teams have had this much experience in playing this many games in a day and playing for this long in a day.
Absolutely not.
And that's why I think this final game is going to be very aggressive, very much fight heavy, just to not necessarily just to end the day, but just because they're exhausted. And that's kind of what you do. You're like, you want to get the game over with, but you obviously still want to win because there's still a lot of money up for stakes. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see some very aggressive play out of both teams.
I can tell you this much. I've seen a game go that long with those types of back and forth tosses, if you will. About a year ago, I saw Bipolar Method at SK have a game like that, and it was in a best of 3, and that was game number 2, went about an hour. Game number 3 took 15 minutes. So if
let's get this going.
History is any precedent, we may be seeing, to your point, a very aggressive, very fast game, and I'm really liking SK's draft so far. They get the Ra, they have the Isis, and they have the Apollo.
For people in chat wondering, Tyr is available to be played at this tournament. It is a respect ban over to Sayo, who's been playing him actually earlier on today. So that is why he's been taken away. He actually played a very strong Tyr. And we do see the Sobek, the Thor, and the Agni already locked in over for Cognitive EU. And what do we see? What kind of composition do we see already racking up for him?
Well, COG here, they're going to have that Sobek, a very strong initiator, but, we've seen him run once already in this tournament, and he basically ended the game at, like, level 8 or something. So he wasn't able to really stay in, but, of course, that was Vengeance running that kind of, like, 4 carry and a Sobek lineup. So it was hard for him to stay in, and Kronos is going to be the pickup here now for Spray and then Neath. So it's going to be that Thor Neath this will likely be Bacchus here. It could be a Guan Yu.
I was thinking, where's the Athena band?
It could be a Guan Yu if they want to go for more sustain, but I think it'll probably be the Bacchus.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Bacchus pretty much every game today except that last one, and every game, even win or lose, he's just done phenomenally well, and I'm kind of surprised to see him, if he does get picked, go as the last one of the game.
Yeah, indeed, and there he is being highlighted, so he likely will be locked in here. So the team over here from COG EU, they have really this presence of Neath and Thor. You send that Neath arrow on its way, you have Thor rotate over, and he just dunks on top of whoever you are targeting. Generally, that would be the mid laner or a solo lane role. You have the Agni for your burst damage and your Kronos for your sustained damage into the late game. Neith putting out not terrible damage of her own. Over on SK, we have Hunbot for that very strong jungle and AoE presence. Ra with the sustain and push. He'll likely be going another tanky build as Aaliyah seems to favor him that way. Gortak, of course, will be your support tank with that Hand of Gods 3 and all the other trappings of a support tank. Isis going to be your solo laner, and Apollo is going to be your range carry matched up with that Bacchus, probably in the mid lane, and Restarian failed to load.
All right, so it looks like we have to go through the phase one more time. Hopefully that will be sorted very, very quickly.
Looks like Zalia is no longer working for Tagalong, so let's see who we can find here that'll work. Restarian, Tagalong, Sprayarn, Tagalong, well,
Jason Kaplan.
Jason Cap. Let's try Mugiwawa. Oh, Mugiwawa. All right. Well, when they're ready to go, we'll be ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll be moving on to our next game here shortly. Not sure what happened to Restarian there, but I'm sure admins are sorting it out, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a fly, and I'm gonna try to kill it, and I'm gonna make a loud noise if I get him. That's all I got for you, Jason.
I think we need to get the camera on us just to show you what's happening right now, because Bart is very intent on killing this fly.
I'm going to kill this SOB. No, he's gone. He's too wily for me.
What? He's taunting you. He's at the top of the desk. He's like, come get me if you want. I got this. Watch this. Watch this.
Dude, are you a master?
Hold on. This is going to be very loud, guys, but bear with me here.
Oh! I think you missed.
Yeah. I almost cursed too. I hit my hand. The fly made a fool of me.
Yes. No, you do a pretty good job of that yourself.
Ow, my knuckles.
Have you actually hurt yourself?
Yeah, that actually really hurt. Fly 1, Jason 0.
Yeah. Life is just very hard.
We'll get it later. Maybe we scared it off though.
Maybe, yeah. I think we told him. I think we got the better of him. He now knows.
He doesn't know who he's messing with right now. We've been casting for like 10, 11 hours today straight.
I'm ready to kill a fly.
That's the least of my things I'd prepare to kill right now.
Yes. You know what I'd really like to kill is a gold fury.
Come on. Come on. I was thinking more of a beverage of some sort.
Yeah, a liter of something would be great at this point. You see
of water
on the stage there.
Any shout-outs that you want to give?
Ooh,
anyone back at home? I believe Hi-Rez Kelly was sitting here in the stream chat. I saw Hi-Rez Duke a little bit earlier.
Yeah, shout out to
Hi-Rez Coleman right now.
Ooh,
all paying attention to the awesome tournament we have going on here today.
Shout out to Coleman. Hi-Rez Coleman is my dungeon master in our 2nd edition Dungeons and Dragons game in Coleman. I like to try to get a game on Monday before I go to PAX.
Did he just try to punch a fly?
That's my shout out. Also shout out to my Twitter, HiRezBart.
Yeah, at HiRezBart.
At HiRezBart, at JCapLOLs, where you can find us, guys. If you've enjoyed the coverage, please follow Jason and say mean things to me, because that's really how I like to live my life.
That's pretty much like, talk dirty to me, guys.
Yeah, that's right. You know, just, yeah, lay it on thick.
Oh, man, I can tell how this game is going to go, just from the conversation we're having right now.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a killer game. But yeah, no, shout out to Kelly and Duke and Gavin and all of our kind of PR, and, well, I guess I would include Gabe and Twitch team and community team. Everyone out there, thanks everyone for all of the work you do in getting this thing promoted.
Hi-Rez Mick is sad now.
Oh, Mick?
Yeah.
Oh, Micholas.
I'll say hi to you, Hi-Rez Mick.
Dude, Mick is the man. Shout out to Mick. You looked great when we were watching you from that 10-cent announcement, and I hope you're wearing sunglasses in my honor.
As you can see on the screen right now, guys, we do have the picks and bans coming back in. Teams are going to be starting up very soon. We're going to be getting into the game in about 20 seconds here. And remember, this is the final game between the best of 3 of SK Gaming and Cognitive EU. Winner of this will take home 7,500 euros. And honestly, thanks for sticking around and watching the show. All 4,000 of you.
You all deserve 7.5. Is that Jared Garrettson that just walked by? I think it was. Hi, Jared. Let's be friends. Anyway, yep, it is a 3,500 euros that separate. It's 3,500 euros that separate first place and second place here, Jason. Quit your shenanigans. It's business time. No, we are just waiting on the players to. Well, they're in the game now. We're just waiting to get pulled in ourselves, and away we go. Hopefully, no one crashes. It is going to be the final game between Cognitive EU and SK Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce your teams. Over on the blue team, you see them standing in the pool. It is Mugiwawa, Spray Arm, Proxy QQ, Game Hunter, and Rastarian. And that a Cognitive EU will make. Over on the red side, they are fighting out of the top of your minimap. They are Sayo, Zalia, Sun Touch, Gortuk, and Smek. And they will be fighting as Team SK. And what are we going to see here? Maybe a level 1 kill. We haven't seen one of those in quite some time.
If it's anything like last game, I think it's going to be about 15 minutes before the first kill comes in. Then we're going to see about 3 Fire Giants take throughout the game with throws back and forth. And then we're going to hit that 54-minute mark, and both teams are going to be like, oh, we could have finished by now.
Wait, where did we get a Loki pick from? Did he, what? Did we miss this?
No. Did we? Did it crash before we had all gods locked in?
We must have, yeah. We must have been waiting on the final pick, and it looks like SK has elected to go with a Loki here for Zalia.
Well, you were saying to me a little bit earlier that we have not seen Loki.
They changed the pick? Okay, so the teams have agreed to allow this to go through.
What was it originally?
It was originally the ISIS. Well, no. Yeah, originally Zalia was on the ISIS, and I don't recall exactly what they had. I'm sure chat is letting us know right now, as they are, of course, omniscient and everywhere. So the teams have agreed to go ahead with this repick, and, well, who are we to stop them?
It was really originally Hunbots.
Hunbots, okay, so they want to go for the Loki. They want to go for that single target burst damage. Now, Loki's going to be playing in that solo lane role. He wants to get in that 1v1 because what he can do is level up his number 2 ability, which will stack up the minions and help him clear them very quickly. And then he can use his invisibility and dot that comes with it to basically harass extremely well and very safely, and that's likely what you're going to see. Sayo will be playing on that ISIS. Jungle. And is it jungle ISIS?
ISIS jungle.
If it's jungle ISIS, I'm going to rethink everything about my life. What are the decisions that brought me here to watch jungle ISIS? It is indeed with that Bumba's mask. New meta.
Watch him bringing something out. Like you saw the Kali come out in Paris Games Week. Maybe this is the hidden OP right now.
Oh, man. So here's the thing. If ISIS can land the Spirit Balls out of the jungle, which is a not incredibly tall task, it is devastating because she has the follow-up, silence, and she has all of this clear potential starting out with that magic pot. And you know what? I'm excited.
Is this risky, though? Because obviously we see ISIS in the lanes, and that means he can be missing out on a lot of experience. He can be missing out on a lot of farm. He's actually getting invaded here by Sobek. A little bit to lock that one down, though. And is this dangerous? Like, if he falls behind early, like on Kali, will he just kind of stay behind? I mean, obviously you haven't seen it before yet, but, you know, give me your thought process behind it.
I don't think so. Like, I think that you're going to see this ISIS jungle is actually, even from behind, will still be pretty potent. ISIS scales really, really well off of just base stats, so she kind of has that going for her. So even if behind, a little bit better than Kali that relies much more on scaling. ISIS does scale well, but kind of like the base damage on that number 2 Spirit Ball, if you hit it at max range, is really, really nice. It'll burst down, and then she brings that control. You know, Isis is basically a controlling mage. What she does is she can stun you from distance, and she can slow you and silence you. And when she puts those things together, she can really make a pretty nasty combination. And for the moment here, you see Proxy once again starting over here in this 1v1 lane, helping out that Chronos get a small advantage over the Loki. But oh man, it's a dangerous time to be a member of COG, because you never really know when this Isis Spirit Ball is going to come flying out of the woods with a silence right behind it. So Hand of the Gods goes down on the side. He picks up those side lane Furies, and he keeps it rolling.
Also, Isis looks fabulous while jungling.
She does.
That is one thing. I mean, it's not an official statistic in Smite, but it kind of needs to be. She's fabulous level.
Better looking than other junglers, you're saying?
Yeah. She also has a lot better graphics than the Gold Fury, I believe.
Yes. Her graphics are quite nice. You know, some of the best graphics I think that you can get. So Sayo continues rolling on here. You know, level 5, what'll be interesting here is if he actually does take the ultimate.
What would I do without you, Bart?
Well, you'd be probably
less happy in life.
You'd be a lot sadder. Yeah, exactly. That's what's going to be interesting to me. Does he take the ultimate for that added burst, or is he going to be looking for a more 1, 2, and 3 ability combination, the Wing Gust, the Spirit Ball, and the Dispel magic abilities, respectively? Will he be looking to level those up first? And now we don't have actual direct insight into what they are skilling, but I can tell you whether or not he has his ultimate based on whether or not that gem lights up when he hits level 5. So my guess is probably not, but maybe it's more the conservative play to take the ultimate, but perhaps he won't and look to improve his clear time. And no, that's not the case because he does have his ultimate online now.
Where's the first gank going to come in, though? Obviously, we've seen Thor gank on that right side. Proxy Q trying to make something happen for Spray Arm, but we haven't seen Isis come around just yet. Looks like he might make his first move at middle onto Agni, as he does actually get away. You can tell on that. Well, tell in the middle of the screen. And it looks like Ice is just going to back out. So no real gank coming in just yet. Sayo not really. Well, I don't know. He did this a couple actually through all the games so far. He just kind of tends to farm away instead of going for some very heavy ganks. Obviously, he did that a little bit early on with a colleague, making a lot of plays. And I believe didn't he play Arachne, or is that someone else?
No, that was HiRezBart played Arachne. But Game Hunter's going to find first blood onto the Bacchus coming back in is Smek. They want to find this kill. They're trying to get the Ra beam out, and they will indeed. Sun Touch snipes down Proxy just like that, and they lose their Thor. Game Hunter and Mugi both quite low. The shield is activated, but here comes Isis, the Spirit Bolt out of the woods. This is exactly what we're talking about. They're going to split, and it's going to just miss. But man, oh man, what a try there from Sayo. He may try to dive. You know, he's thinking about it. He really wants to, but I don't think he's going to be able to. But a great play there coming out. Checking in on this right side lane. Spray on the Kronos going up against Xaylia. And Xaylia on that Loki. I think I've said his name about 100 different ways this weekend, but hey, that's all right. Xaylia is going to have those boots too already finished, and his Death Soul as well. But doesn't seem to have great real harass onto Spray on just yet. But this lane is, for all intents and purposes, stalemated out. We see Game Hunter going to go in and start doing some damage to this Isis. Mugi Wawa, ultimate going to be used reflexively from Sayo, thinking that there was going to be the initiation from Sobek there, but newsflash for Walter Cronkite, they aren't.
I've almost forgotten who he was, being here in Germany for so long, but looks like we're not going to, as you said, not see that come in, but already we've seen a change in pace in the game. You know, considering the last two we've seen, SK's taken a 0-5 advantage right off the bat every single time. Now it's currently 1-1, not a huge lead for either team right off the bat. And walk us through the lanes. Like, for instance, on this right side lane, between Loki, between Kronos, who would you think should win this one out?
Loki has the early game advantage, I think. His ability to harass with his #1 is quite good, but of course Kronos is able to heal himself up in a fashion with his #2, just giving him straight HP 5 increase. When he's basically it's a clock and he can stop it on one of the quadrants, will heal him up a bit. But you know, it looks like Spray's gotten the better of him here. Did hit level 8 first, definitely has better clear, but Loki, as you can see, can use his decoy to stack creeps up and gets a nice clear of his own. And of course has great gank potential if someone gets in position. Looks like we will have a little bit of poking going on at the side lane XP camps, but nothing too tremendous. But back to the point, Loki can cover distance really well with his ult and get that range stun basically for a melee character and get him in there. And if that's followed up by the jungler rotating over as well, you can see some pretty easy kills set up with him. You know, and it just kind of comes down to will SK be able to catch Restarian after he goes for one of these kind of aggressive dashes on the Agni? If they can catch him out, then you know it's a pretty easy kill in the mid. Back over the side lane, indeed, you see, you know, Xaylia able to get out of jail for free as well with that invisibility, with no true counter to straight invisibility in the game. On the left side lane, pretty standard, the support tank and range carry versus support tank range carry combination we've seen. Isis will find a stun onto Restarian there. He's going to dash out. Will there be any follow-up? It doesn't look like. It's just going to be a beam from Sun Touch, and that should be that.
And I've asked this question every single game so far. I'm going to keep doing it right now. What team do you favor early? What team do you favor late?
Early game. I think early game you take. It's a tough one.
Well, just give me your thought process. Give me your thought process.
In an earlier side of game, so not the level 1 fight, but an early game, I think I'm taking Kagi EU. So they have the range stun of Agni. They have a follow-up range from Spray. They have another follow-up range from Root that can be AoE from Neat. They have Proxy QQ on the Thor. Thor does great damage at this point in the game, and they have Sobek, who has nice disrupt. So with all those tools combined, I think that they maybe have the better kind of early, mid-early game period style of play. Over here on SK, they have that Loki, takes a little while to pan out, needs the items. They have Sayo. Oh, speaking of which, we're going to see going down is Mr. Smek, and he will fall indeed. So Smek going to be a little bit delayed on that Heart Secret, but you know they're a little more item dependent over here on SK. They need some damage items up and running on Apollo to have that threat of split pushing be real. They need items on Loki so he can 100 to 0 people. And you know, this jungle Isis, you know, who knows how long it's going to take to pan out. And Restarian, you're out of pauses, man.
He's used quite a few over the course of today, but right now, I mean, how impressed are you with the jungle Isis? I mean, obviously it hasn't really made too much impact in these ganks just yet, but it hasn't done too bad either.
Well, I mean, you see here the clear time, 272 gold a minute on to Proxy at 1-1-1 on the Thor, going up against a 243 gold a minute Isis at 0-0-1. So even without that death and that kill, you know, Isis has fallen behind the Thor in terms of clear time, is also a level behind. XP per minute is 345, Proxy at 409. So a pretty actually big advantage right now for the Thor. In fact, about a 10% additional XP per minute. Nothing's really happened with it, right? I mean, it hasn't really hit any huge stunts, hasn't set up any kills at this point, so it's hard to say that it's tremendously successful, but they will have an Isis that has decent farm moving into the mid game, which is never a bad thing. The real question is, will they like continue to farm like the traditional way that Sio has played? These junglers like basically just hard rice the entire game in the jungle.
Guess we're only gonna, I guess time's really gonna tell us the answer to that question, and right now we already do see in that sideline Sobek going in for some little bit of damage. It's not gonna be able to get too much. I can hear myself echoing through the whole building yet again.
It's a wonderful thing.
It's thing is, I'm one of those people who doesn't like the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, most people don't either.
And the thing is, I commentate. That's like the weirdest thing, and I don't like my voice. But anyways, we already do see we're staring on this Agni. I mean, we've seen a couple of Agnis build a little bit differently, and it looks like he might potentially go for that cooldown reduction build we've been seeing. Not the really burst-heavy build.
No, he is actually going to be going for the penetration boots here, so he's actually going to be going, it looks to be a little bit more of a damage-based build.
Okay.
Moving into Voidstone, though, so it's not going to be tremendously different. I think it's just a different preference on boots. I don't expect them to build. And, you know, these teams have built so many Breastplates of Valor on the mages, you know, and in this game in particular, I think it's a good pickup against Zayla. You really got to try to stop. If you can stop Loki from 100 to 0ing you, you know, with his ultimate, then you're in a pretty good spot against him because he doesn't really have much after he blows all of his cooldowns. So I like the Breastplate of Valor in these pickups, but I haven't really loved how tanky these mages have been built, especially the big damage-dealing nukes. Really only Sun Touch out of these teams building that Poseidon or Isis or whomever he goes. Okay, so they're going to try to go on a style. They've caught him out. They found the Neath ultimate. It's going to be bursted off. Will be the Isis ultimate to do a little bit more heal on him, but at the end, he will be the first death for SK, will be going the way of Sio on that jungle Isis, and that slowed him down now even more.
All right, so currently 3-1 for Kaguya's first time they've actually been able to lead within the first 10 minutes of the game. Doing a fantastic job of getting this game started so far, and we have to keep in mind, Smeckington on her last game, I mean, he did phenomenally well. Like, he was 4-0-4, I believe, at one point in the game. He was always in the right position, and he's going to be on Apollo this time. And we started to finally see in that last game a little bit of split pushing finally coming down. Wasn't as effective as I guess we hoped a little bit. Obviously did pull a lot of pressure towards him. It definitely kept SK, you know, responding to him, and it allowed Kaguya to pick up actually one Fire Giant. But will he be able to pull off the same here?
We'll see. Taking a look at the graphs, it is starting to move pretty heavily in favor of our friends over on Cognitive EU. 1,600 gold advantage and a 3,200 experience advantage. So they're really making the best out of this advantage that Proxy has in the jungle right now. And you see him doing the only movement ahead through that wall and pushing damage out onto these Harpies. And he just has a really, really nice and fast clear time. And that's translated now into 310 gold a minute, 480 XP a minute versus Sio at 250 gold a minute and 350 XP a minute. So a tremendous individual advantage for the jungle Thor. And if they're able to translate that, in fact, over to some ganks, then they can maybe look to take this game over into the transition to mid game. But it is going to be a Heartseeker Thor here, so he will be looking to farm for at least the next 5 to 7 minutes. Yeah,
that is a little bit of that really is a little bit worrisome for me, is that Sio's falling behind so hard right off the bat, and it's something you have to be careful of, because to me they really have no true tank besides Gorthak. And he kind of takes a little bit to get going in terms of his items that he's been building up. When on the other side, you have Thor who can take a lot of damage. You know, you have Mugiwara who can take a lot of damage on that Sobek, and it's kind of like high damage versus more utility kind of team fights here.
Yeah. No, that's quite true. You have the shell also available for Mugi here to help increase that tanking a little bit. Okay, here we go. Proxy's gonna go for a ride. Let's see where he goes in. Will they find anything here? They find a stun. Oh man, Sio just melts. They're gonna find Sun Touch as well. And Cog EU looking real sharp this game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, first time they've been able to take the advantage in the game, and we see them be able to claw their way back into games where they've been behind quite a bit in the early phase, even in the mid game. And it actually makes me worry, like, how strong are they when they actually have the lead in the beginning? Do they kind of take that control and never let go? And right now, SK, they're going to have to pull a COG EU if they want to be able to kind of get back in this game.
Yeah, but will COG EU give them the opportunity to get back into it? Just to your point earlier, I mean, you haven't really seen them play ahead against SK, and maybe SK really needs to play from behind to really, find a way to keep on the pressure, which when they are applying pressure to the enemy team, they seem to be at their best. What will we see come out of COG EU, and how will they be able to handle this lead that they have? Not something you often talk about is like, what are they going to do now that they are in the lead? But 3,000 gold and 6,000 experience going their way. Can they take this and turn it into a victory? Jimmy Carter says yes. I don't know.
I think that's 6,000 experience, while Sayo's been falling behind steadily throughout this game against his opponent, Proxy QQ, who is currently leading in net worth with that 6,000. We do see Thor going in here, but are they going to be able to pick the kill? And it looks like Suntouch should be able to survive.
Yeah, he'll be fine here. Nice job using the ultimate to avoid that charge spray from Sobek. I believe it actually hit a minion anyway, but had it even gone through, it would not have hit. We do have Apollo, going to get 5-6 auto tech maybe in on the tower here. No, he's not going to risk getting rooted by the knee. Right side lane, looks like we had briefly continued initiation onto the Sobek. Loki going to do his best to try to burst him down. Ultimate was used, but ultimately not going to be effective.
The ultimate ultimately not effective.
Ultimately not bringing the damage.
And we do see item builds developing a little bit. We are seeing Game Hunter and Smeckington both go for that Heartseeker. But Smeckington does have this completed, so he's already started to stack up a little bit, where Game Hunter hasn't really had that ability to do it just yet. Not to mention, Smeckington does have that sprint, so he's going to have the ability to be a lot more mobile if he wasn't mobile enough with his jump, with his ultimate. And that's, I would imagine, be able to apply a lot of pressure over to Kagyu, who still currently has that lead.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what he's going for. He wants to be able to push as aggressively as humanly possible, I think is what it comes down to. And even when the ultimate seems like it's he's not going to be able to channel it and get it out in time, he could just sprint away. Checking in once again on the Isis being played by Sayo, working towards that Breastplate of Valor. So not going to have a lot of damage in. Once he finishes his second item, we'll be waiting for maybe the third or even fourth item to get the damage. Probably going to see the Void Stone, the Focus Void Stone coming out after this Breastplate of Valor. So a very conservative build so far. Xaylia going to get stunned out by the Agni. Here comes the damage coming out. Sprayon finds a double kill there on that Chronos. Stunned out now with Sayo by the Neath ult. Not going to fall all the way in. Ra comes streaming in from behind, and here comes the revenge of Smek, throwing out those auto attacks onto Resty. He finds a stun, still looking for it, gonna pop his sprint, but gonna get tossed back. Great heal there by Mugi, and will the burst be enough? Can they find it? They can indeed. Proxy picks him up, and keeping on rolling here is the gentleman of, is Cognitive. SK finds one kill in the Agni, but in the meantime, look at Game Hunter here, finding a tower kill, and that's gonna be a good one for them. They're gonna look to dive on the Suntouch here. Will Spray and Mugi, they have the knockup. He's gonna be in his heal beam there, the spin to win, but it's just not going to be enough damage as Sayo comes in as well, and they're going to port in. That's okay, because that's enough distraction to net them a tower in the left side, and maybe even a second one.
The thing is, that was with him split pushing this entire time, and the rest of his team was just fighting without him. I believe that was a 4-5 through the entirety of it.
It was, yeah.
Still pulled off enough kills and a turret off the back of that, so now sitting at pretty much 34,000 gold to 28,000 that SK's been able to bring up, and it's really starting to get out of hand. I mean, even when SK had the lead, they never had the lead like this.
Yeah.
Like, they never had this control that we're seeing COG put out.
Yeah, 1,630 tower damage coming out from that Neath in that last foray. Nice job there by her, well, rather by Game Hunter, who's not a her, in converting that damage into structure damage and finding that tower. Here comes that Loki initiation underneath. There's a backflip. Xaylia has great positioning to deal with it. Gonna get that attack speed slow coming out though from Neath's heal. Yeah, that's the thing. You get an attack speed slow with your heal ability. And now Robin gonna miss. The knockup will hit, however. They really want to find this kill underneath the tower, but it's gonna be tough to do. And Tuxia comes out, but it's backflipped out of brilliantly there by Game Hunter. And now Mugi's gonna toss back in Gortok to tower range, rooted underneath it, and Game Hunter makes just an ace play there. His ultimate comes out, finding yet another kill. What play by Game Hunter there, really truly doing his thing. And Cognitive in the meantime has spread this map up so nicely. They find another tower. They're just finding everything. I don't know why I'm saying find so much, but it seems to be my word of the day.
When did they lose it? That's
I don't know. The question is, if they keep looking and they keep losing things, no, they will pick up another tower in the right side lane. Will spray on.
That was just so well played by Game Hunter, able to escape that gang very well. Not to mention, I think he jumped or he backflipped over the ultimate.
Yeah, he backflipped over the Intoxicate. Yep.
And so he was able to survive very well. Not to mention Sobek coming in from the side, Mugi well, doing a fantastic job. We do see another fight breaking out yet again, but Kagyu, they just seem so far ahead. Maybe you'll see one go down, but it doesn't even seem like that's possible.
Yeah, let's take a look at the graphs here. 7K gold, 11K experience. Will they be able to transition this into a victory? They certainly have the advantage here, and they've done a nice job taking out objectives as well. They have 2 towers off the map already at the 16-minute 45-second mark and are threatening to take mid tower. They're not going to need a lot of poke, just a little bit of clear to really convert that. Here comes the damage onto Mugi. The slow coming from Sun Touch as well, but it doesn't look like they're really willing to dive too far for that.
And right now, KogEU, I mean, like I've been saying before, because I really want to make an emphasis on this, is that they haven't had this lead before in this best of 3 series. They've seen SK have the advantage. They've seen SK blow the advantage multiple times, and they've seen where SK's kind of gone wrong. But KogEU, are they going to be able to avoid those mistakes that SK was making, giving KogEU the chance to obviously get back in the game? Or is KogEU, are they prepared? Have they been in this situation many times before, and they know how to close out a game? And obviously we're going to find out very soon.
Yeah, Sayo's still trying to get his jungle farm up, has fallen quite a bit behind the Thor. In fact, 4 levels, and well, to the tune of about 2,000 net worth as well, which is that's a rough position to be in. It's going to be the gold for your attempt, the first one of the match coming out, and it's going to be going towards KogEU. They pull it down, they're going to rotate the Neath over. Apollo's here, Loki is going to come over, Bacchus making his way, but he's going to be a bit late. It's going to be tough for them to contest this, I think, and indeed it will be. KogEU takes it, and that's a lot of damage.
Oh, Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo is going to maybe be able to get out. He will indeed in time. No dots available. Thor up in the air, looking for Loki, looking for Loki. They know where he is now, but I don't think Thor can crash in on him. Thor, in fact, is going to fall back and start his farm back over here near the blue camp as the team rolls on down the left side lane. I don't think they're going to continue pushing in. They're going to back here, judging by where the players are moving. So not really looking to extend that advantage a lot beyond that, but, you know, some good plays. And I can't, for the life of me, I really would have liked to have seen Apollo continue to push over here in this right side lane, but that Cronus porting in is going to dissuade him from doing that. Now they'll take their attention to the mid lane, will KogEU, where they have maybe caught out of position Ra here, and they have indeed. Proxy picks up Sun Touch. Now Gortak wants to come in and follow that up, but he's going to take a lot of damage from that Sobek ultimate. Isis ultimate is out, and it'll get them a kill on the Thor, but at what cost? They're going to lose Sayo here as well. In the back line is that Apollo, but he's going to get rooted, forced to use beads. Do they have the flick? It doesn't matter because Mugi's going to get in there deep, and well, Zalia's trying to find a target to do damage. Neath ultimate comes out. Ooh. That is a very, very dead Apollo, and that is a 4-for-1 trade for KogEU, and it seems like we said that a few times this game. This one seems to be like Kog wants. Kog is looking very good to take this game right now.
Yeah, and one thing we saw KogEU do when they were on the losing end of these games is they warded up the jungle like crazy. They had the intentions to pick off SK one by one, pick up a couple of kills here and there, and right now SK, they haven't really invested too much in wards across the map, and right now KogEU is taking complete advantage of it. They're picking them off in the jungle, they're catching them off guard like you just saw, end up picking up 4 kills just from their little run around into middle, and SK, I mean, they need to be able to do something here very quickly or they're going to start falling even further behind. It's now 10,000 gold difference, a 16,000 experience difference, and it's only getting worse at this rate.
Yeah,
previously, we saw KogEU catching back up. Like, they kept it leveled out for quite a while. They were able to take it back a little bit here or there, but SK haven't been able to get their hands on this.
You see 10K player damage coming up from both Game Hunter and Restarian. Player damage close to that 5,000 mark for most of the players of SK as well. So putting out, you know, basically 2 players worth of damage here has been the Agni and the Neath so far this game. And you got to think they're looking for this Fire Giant soon. They've been doing really, really well just finding the pickoff, so maybe they'll just try to keep the pressure applied for now. But it's really been the, this has been Kog's game from really the get-go. 14-13, 20 minutes have elapsed, ladies and gentlemen. If you are just joining us, it is game number 3 here in a best-of-3 series between KogEU and SK. It is the finals for real 7,500 euros on the line out of the 15,000 euro prize pool, and KogEU is smelling blood. They're going to go in and try to take a tier 2 tower off of really just sheer force.
So this is what SK didn't do in their game so far. They had that huge advantage. They didn't take any objectives, and KogEU, they're just punishing for it. Or well, they're not punishing them, but they're just showing them, like, this is the kind of thing you need to do to really keep that hold that you've been able to build up throughout the first 20 minutes. And right now, KogEU are showing no signs of stopping. A lot of items come in. They're starting to get almost a full item a piece ahead of their opponents. And it's really at that point where if SK doesn't make anything happen soon, they're going to lose the game.
Yeah, they need to make some plays, and you see, just looking at that graph, it's just stair steps. Each team fight, they go up a little bit, they hold that farm until the next team fight where they go up a little bit, hold that farm. We may have a team fight brewing. Is it coffee or tea? I don't know, but Proxy EU is in, and they are looking for stuns. They're not going to find them, but Gortok maybe has overextended himself. They're going to find some damage on Sayo as well. They're looking for really anything they can get at this point. It's been a basically a fight of disengaging so far from SK. Proxy's actually going to get that stun out. They're going to kill on to Smek. That's good. They find Sun Touch as well for Proxy. 2 down. Now, they're going to lose their Sobek here, it looks like, but can they get Zelia on top of it? And he's going to stealth out, but they get Sayo, so a 3-for-1 trade so far. Will we see another 4-for-1 come out? Not yet, but maybe this will give them the Fire Giant. Do they have the wherewithal to go for it?
I don't think they want to.
I think they want
like,
the towers.
Yeah, like forget it. Why give them... Oh, we do see Gortok even going down. They're like, why even give them a chance to potentially steal it away? Why even give a chance to throw the game? Just take some turrets and take some Phoenixes, and let's really hammer home this victory that we currently have in our grasp.
Yeah, they're just growing this lead. 15,000, or 14,000 gold now, 21,000 experience, and they're going to look to this left side lane, clear some more farm out of the jungle, make it even harder for SK to even get back into this game. 22 minutes have elapsed, and you have a big old advantage for COG EU, ladies and gentlemen, and we are excited to bring you this final game of the Best of 3 series. Winner will go home with 7,500 euros, and the loser of this matchup will go home with 3,000 euros. So quite a big disparity between second and first place, and it looks like COG wants that extra 4,000 euro.
I'd take it if I could, but
hey, yeah.
That's a good day of work. And I mean, there's a good reason for it, because you have the best teams in Europe competing here. We want to see what team is the best out of these 4 currently here. And right now, COG EU are showing to be the better team against SK Gaming, and the better team should always win the most money. Yeah,
indeed. So now they really maybe are looking towards this left side lane. They may pick up the Gold Fury here just to get some gold up from Mugi to continue warding up. But yeah, it looks like they are. I mean, and at this point in the game, you know, we were kind of making light of it in the last game, all these Gold Fury 10s, but still at 23 minutes, it's a very, very valid time. In fact, we didn't even see any Gold Furies taken until past this point in some of the games that we've seen in this tournament. So this seems like a nice timing here. They'll have Proxy rotate in, they'll have Sobek rotate in as well. They should be able to get this for free, and they're kind of flexing their muscles here now. That's going to give them, well, let's see, give it a second to update here on the chart, but that's going to put them closer to probably 17,000, 18,000 gold advantage.
I can tell you this, though. That was some great graphic on graphic action, as we were seeing. And right now, we're going to go for a 5-man push on this left side here, out of cognitive. That turret already missing a lot of health, and SK, do you give this away? Do you go for your last stand right here? And it's up to them to choose, and with the way they're positioned, with the way they're poised, they're just going to give this one up. Yeah, and look at the slope of those lines. I mean, basically just always up. You know, it's not trending down really at any point. Those trend lines have a pretty serious, I guess, I don't know. What do you think a slope is? What do you think the M is in that equation? The end?
M. Y equals mx plus b.
Oh, God. Oh, God. I can't math right now. I can't do science.
Dude, you can math.
Okay, so I would imagine it's about a big number.
Yeah, it is.
I'll play somewhere safe.
Yeah, no, but it is. All joking aside, I mean, they have really just been in the driver's seat of this game, and we've seen them do something that we haven't seen SK do in the 2 games that they led in this Best of 3 series, is just keep that pressure on, take the objectives, and yeah, they have no towers down, does COG EU, but they've taken all of SK's.
Yeah, and I really hope this isn't taken the wrong way, and I don't mean any disrespect by it, but I think COG EU is just proven to be the better team right now. I mean, they've never had an advantage like this until this game, and yet they were still able to claw their way back in both those games previously. Now that they've had the lead, they have not let go. They've been applying the pressure everywhere. They've been not letting these objectives go. We do see Fire Giant started up right now, and SK, they're in a position to kind of stop this, but will they be able to?
The Hand of the Gods 2 is on Gortak for SK. You have a Hand 3 on Mugi. It's going to be a very, very difficult steal, and Mugi's just going to stay in there. You see the beams coming through. He's just throwing out those auto attacks. The rest of the team zoning for him, and when it does go down, in just a moment, Restarian will fall. COG EU finds the Fire Giant. Gortok goes down as well. Zelia in a lot of trouble, Spin to win out on him. Game Hunter finds the double kill now. Loki is not going to be there, ladies and gentlemen, and this is a Fire Giant kill on top of 2 additional kills, a 2-for-1 trade. They'll trade Restarian for both the Loki, who's very troublesome for those backline players, and Gortok the tank. Thor is going to get an ult off onto Sayo, and Sayo's jungle Isis not going to survive that assault, and this could be your GG push, ladies and gentlemen, as the team regroups and looks to find themselves a mid-Phoenix.
And I don't think that Phoenix is going to survive long at all right now. I mean, we're looking at 60,000 gold to the 42,000, 18,000 discrepancy. That Phoenix is going to go down, and look at the timers. They have time to finish this game up, and if they do, they're going to go home happy with that 7,500 euros and coming in first at the Gamescom tournament.
Take a look at what it's like to be Smek facing down the entire enemy team here. They're not even going to look to contest this side Fury here in the left side lane. And, well, here come the Fire Minion waves. They'll go around
Please don't back. Please don't back.
The final
Okay,
Phoenix.
they're going to get the last one. All right. I'll understand this.
At this point, they can face tank it, so they're happy to do so. Still 16, 15 more seconds on Sayo and Zalia, or Zalia, or X-Alelia, or whatever I've called it in all the different iterations in this tournament. But we may be drawing to the end here, ladies and gentlemen. COG EU is threatening the Guardian.
I can understand this, though. Phoenix is down. Yeah. Everyone SK is now alive. They have a lot of money to spend. Why not go ahead, buy up those final items, go for that final push with all the lanes basically pushed in, which SK right now, they need to shove the lanes as quick as possible if they want to have any time to be able to hold on here. And you do see them shoving out lanes decently well, but against these fire minions, they're going to have a very tough time, and we're going to see it looks like just a 5-man push down middle. Yeah, I mean, so they're going to get back, they recall in time to go with their first full wave of fire minions down the door. Loki, really? Is he that strong? Is he going to look for a pick here? No, there's no way. I think he kind of just gave up.
But Spray's going to split off, and this could be dangerous, actually.
Oh, he's going to get turret.
Oh, yeah, he's just going to backdoor that. Okay, fair enough. That gives them a little uptick, or I guess a downtick, as it were. Proxy's going to find the stun on Slud Touch. They're going to convert this on the Ra, and Ra just unfortunately out of position there. Slud Touch trying to do anything he can to push this lane back out. Loki does get that backdoor, maybe more of a distraction play. Apollo pushing that lane out, but they're not really too concerned with that. Oops. Apparently Shift 1 brings up that Twitch dialogue. We have the finished Shell of Absorption. I'm sorry, on Mugiwara, so very tanky when they go in, and that's a great pickup for him, I think. Makes the back totally worth it, in that they're going to be able to just be a little bit more tanky when they go into this Minotaur and just kind of go in and find a kill and not worry too much.
Loki's like, uh-oh, I'm out here out of position.
Yeah, he's going to actually run a little bit further out of position in the invisibility. We're going to go ahead and take a ride with Proxy here. We'll drop that UI element because we are looking at what could be the final game in favor of Team Cognitive EU. They're going to get the kill on a spec. Oh, barely, just not. Here comes the final fight coming in. Gortok is there, but not for long. They will find Smek in the back of that fight, and now here comes the Minotaur. They're going to let him leash back in. They're still looking for their time to go in. Fire minions starting to move their way. Proxy getting a little bit low, and here comes the assault on the Minotaur.
That is dropping really fast.
He's going down so fast. We'll turn off everything. We'll give you just the beautiful scenic view as Cognitive EU will be your winners here of the Gamescom 15,000 euro Invitational.
And that was a much quicker game than we've seen earlier on, but a well-deserved win out of Cognitive EU. Even though they kind of threw that last game with that huge advantage they've been able to build up, they come out very strong in this game, having a 24-5 kill lead at the end of the game. Not to mention how much gold, and the scores across the board for them are just fantastic.
Yeah, they are. Sprayon goes 3-0-10, quite well there. Proxy QQ definitely the MVP of that final game, going 8-1-10, setting up a lot of kills for his team and really made his Thor presence be felt. That's why we saw that character banned in some of the games, is Thor as a god is able to hold down hold down other teams if he gets rolling, and he was a rolling thunder.
See what you did there.
Yeah, man.
I mean, a little bit of lightning mixed in, but you have to give SK a lot of credit. I mean, even though they did come in second here, they had phenomenal games throughout the day. They went 2-1 in the group stage, and they went 1-2 obviously in this best of 3. Each of them playing very well. Gortak, I was very impressed with his Bacchus all day long. Played fantastic Bacchus. Sayo pulling out some very unique junglers. Smekington doing a great job on all of his ranged carries, and Suntouch as well. I mean, they all played phenomenally well. They just kind of got a little bit outplayed at the end, and Cognitive EU going to come out with that victory.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for us as your casting staff. My name is HiRezBart, and this was Jason Kaplan. Of course, you can find us on the tweeters if you want. Twitter.com, HiRezBart. There you see at the bottom, and JCapLOL if you want to follow our shenanigans on the rest of the internet.
I almost expect you to be like, I am HiRezBart. This is Jason Kaplan. Get the names wrong a little bit. I'm really gonna pop on the sunglasses. I got nothing to wear.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you up for one final time before we sign off, guys. We'll be going over to the winner ceremony here in just a bit. But a hell of a day of Smite play.
Yeah, I mean, I think we had 9 games total, or 8 or 9 games total. About 11 hours worth of some great fights, some great action, some great games.
We did.
And we also, we should probably run over the standings really quickly just to kind of show you who came in what place and who kind of went home with what.
Yeah, sure. So we'll be taking a look at that right now, ladies and gentlemen. These are your final standings out of the group phase. SK goes 2-1. Bipolar goes 2-1. COG goes 2-1. And Vengeance did not find a game in the group stage. However, they do move on to face off against Bipolar Method. You'll see here in the brackets, and they were able to take that down, taking home 3rd place in this tournament. Bipolar will take home 4th, and Cognitive EU will get 1st place over SK Gaming. Ladies and gentlemen, wherever you are watching, thank you so much for tuning in. If you are just joining us, we will have a rebroadcast of this tournament available on the Smite Game channel, basically immediately following the end of this broadcast. So be sure to stay tuned if you want to see some of those earlier games. We had some doozies.
Some doozies, some threesies, even some onesies. I'm really tired.
I'm going to go get in a onesie and take a nap. That's what I'm going to do. And we have the founder of the feast, indeed. This gentleman right behind me giving me what just feels like a little slice of heaven. It's HiRezBart, and he's the CEO, and he's the guy that put up all the money for the game, the tournament, the players.
Oh, I don't get a massage.
You don't get a massage? No, I got you. I do the massage for you.
A little bit later. Happy ending included.
Yeah. A happy ending indeed for Cognitive EU, ladies and gentlemen. They take down the tournament, and let's throw it over to the stage one last time to Miss Rachel Quirko with the winter celebration and I don't know, what is it, the formal signing over of the checks to the winning teams. Rachel, take it away at the end of a very, very long day. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We love you.
I love that as the day goes on, you guys just fall more and more deeply in love. It's totally beautiful. Mitch and I, we've developed sort of a bromance. It's a little different, but bro, tell me, how did you think the tournament went?
Well, I mean, you know, despite, I guess, the length of the day, there's been, you know, it's been on the merits of how long some of these games have gone, and that's really been an indicator of how close together all these teams have been. In terms of whitewashes, there really haven't been any. I think, you know, Jungle Isis and Loki, interesting picture there in that last game, and obviously wasn't as long as some of the other ones there, but of course SK Gaming have been putting up massive fights obviously all day, and we're one of the big favourites. So, I mean, it's been a great day and a long day. We've still got some faithfuls here as well, watching everything, but, you know, in the interest of time, I think we'll probably move it on along, but yeah, long day, great day, and a lot of fun getting into some Smite action here.
Well, let's get to the part that the 4 teams came here for, which is getting them their money. So without further ado, please let us bring up the 4th place team, guys. This is Bipolar Method. Ba, 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 ba. Hey, it's that spider I interviewed. How was winning for you? He hates me.
He was very good about it, actually. You interviewed him and he lost, and I thought he might have thought you were being ironic or something, but he took it well.
Yeah, no, it was the long troll, we decided.
Yeah.
He got me real good. But they certainly have a lot to be proud of. They're going to be going home with 2,000 euros. That's like 8,000 American dollars. So if you guys want to go spend that and take it far, you should travel abroad.
That's right. Obviously, Bipolar Method, you know, maybe not the expected result there in that 3rd place match going down to Vengeance, but, you know, a lot of consistent and fantastic play. These guys are amazing as well. So another round of applause for Bipolar Method, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we get along to our 3rd place winners. The 3rd place winner of this Smite EU Invitational is Vengeance Esports.
Yeah, they didn't manage to score a win in the group, but they came back with a vengeance in the bracket stage to claim an extra 500 euro and 3rd place.
It's funny, they're almost like the sleeper team. They just sort of took their time and built it up and said, you know, we're just going to come out for the last game and get that extra 500 euros. So they've done very, very well, of course. And I really appreciate it, actually. A lot of their games, especially in the early stages, were very, very competitive. And these guys obviously won the qualifier to get on through. And they by no means, you know, fell away. I think they definitely earned their place here, not only in the qualifier, but also on the merits of their performance today. So let's have another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Vengeance.
Coming up in 2nd place, we have a team that has the honor to bear one of the oldest names in esports. It is none other than SK Gaming. Coming around, they're gonna join us on the stage from the front this time. We like to keep riding. Of course, this is Mr. Todd Harris that is passing out the checks, and Mr. HiRezGorman behind me. These are the guys that make Smite happen, and nobody is happier to see these wonderful athletes than these guys.
And SK Gaming with such strong performances here today. And I've got to say, these guys are the nicest bunch of guys. They found out pretty quickly. I had no idea about the game of Smite, and they were always happy to fill me in on some things as well. You know, always happy to lend a hand. They're very, very friendly guys, so we've had a lot of fun hanging out with those guys as well. It's been great to have them here. And of course, they're coming out with 3,000 euros there, so no small amount of change. Another round of applause for SK Gaming.
Very friendly guys. I just saw Smek sign somebody's butt. So, they're in it.
Yeah. I would, but I might need these jeans later on. But
I'm going to keep mine.
Okay, well, it's been a long day, a lot of games in there, a lot of intense games, but finally we come out to the top of things and the end of things as well. And one team has managed to stand the test of time, and a lot of teams trying to come at them with everything they've got. The one, the only, Cognitive EU! You know, we thought they'd have that second game as well in that final, so very close, and you know, just that fight over at the, you know, when they got that fire giant, and they didn't go to capitalise on it. But I mean, that game 3 was just an emphatic victory for them, and they came out so strong and didn't let go of their lead either.
Yeah, absolutely, they had a long day, so I can see how things might slip by them, but they managed to claim it in the end, and here they are with 7,500 euro in first place. That's got to feel good.
That's right, and it looks on their faces as well. A little bit of tiredness, some bags under the eyes, but very, very smiles all around as well. And can I just say as well, we've got to bear in mind that Cognitive EU is probably one of the most shuffled up rosters coming into this event. They had to use their sub, Mugiwawa. Here's another round of applause for him. But obviously Mugiwawa coming in as the sub, as Proxy QQ as a ring-in, who actually wasn't a part of the roster. So despite the big changes that they've had, and I spoke to them earlier and asked them how they went, and they said we've just got to trust in our team and just push through, and they definitely did that as well. And we definitely saw incredible synergy from them later on. So very, very well deserved first prize here.
Absolutely. Well, you guys take pictures of these guys. We do want to take a special moment and say thank you to our excellent casters, Jason Kaplan and HiRezBart, and of course, all the guys from ESL Poland who made this awesome production. They're working hard behind the stages. They're tearing them down, putting them up every day. So big shout out to those guys. Big shout out to you, Mitch. It was a pleasure working with you.
Big shout out to you as well, and the guys from Hi-Rez as well, showing up and obviously, you know, investing in this as well, and partnering with ESL in this event. It's definitely been a roaring success, and these teams, not only have they've had the chance to come out and play some Smile for, you know, an incredible little piece of pie, but also the opportunity to expose such incredible esports talent to the world, to you guys. So it's just been an absolute pleasure, obviously, to have you know, all of you guys here as well, and our crowd, all of our faithfuls as well, still clapping the Thunder Sticks together in the last match when there's probably about 5 people still here. So thank you guys there. Give yourself a pat on the back, maybe with a thunder stick or whatever you like, but it's been a great day.
And one more, thank you CM Storm for this wonderful arena and for sponsoring esports and for making this all possible.
That's right, ESL Arena looks so much better with CM Storm next to it. But I think we're just about to wrap things up here, ladies and gentlemen. I think that pretty much does it for all the thank yous. So we'll pretty much end it here. My name is Mitch. Rachel here with me from Hi-Rez as well. It's been a fantastic day. Guys, wherever you are, get in on some Smite action. You've seen it here first. You know what it's like. Get involved. Such intensity, such precision, and such skill required to play the game, but definitely a rewarding one as well. Well, what a day. Don't forget, guys, tune in tomorrow. We're going to be back here on the same stage with World of Tanks, but for now, good night, and thanks for joining us.